Agreement on Agriculture (AOA). In the context of agriculture, questions have been rising on whether India can legally guarantee minimum support price or MSP or its farmers without contravening its obligations under the World Trade Organization law. Until now, with the domestic support measures like MSP, India has been carefully with the thin line between food and livelihood security and practices classified as distorting under the WTO law. India has been a founding member of the WTO and is a signatory to the Multilateral Agreement on Agriculture, which among other things regulates domestic subsidies guaranteed by governments in the agriculture sector. The disciplines on agricultural subsidies aim to curb trade distorting aid, which, despite being granted domestically, adversely affects the competitiveness of the global market. FDI. There are two types of foreign direct investments, that is greenfield and brownfield. Under the greenfield foreign direct investment, a company will build its own brand in new facilities and assets to set up itself. While under the brownfield FDI, the investing company leases or purchases an existing facility. Nice agreement. Nice agreement. The nice agreement is an important administrative tool that establishes a classification of goods and services for registering trademarks and service marks. The nice classification. The trademark offices of member states must indicate in official documents and publications in connection with each registration the numbers of the classes of the classification to which the goods or services for which the mark is registered belong. India became the 88th member of the Nice Agreement. India became the 88th member of Nice Agreement. Factors affecting the exchange rate of India. Intervention of the Reserve Bank of India. During high volatility in the exchange rate, RBI intervenes to prevent the exchange rate going out of control. For example, the RBI sells dollars when Indian rupee depreciates too much, while in purchase dollars when the Indian rupee appreciated beyond a certain level. Inflation rate. The increase in inflation rate can increase the demand for foreign currency, which can negatively impact the exchange rate of the national currency. For example, an increase in the inflation level of petroleum oil can increase the demand for foreign currency, leading to the depreciation of Indian rupee. Factors affecting the exchange rate system. The exchange rate is the value of a currency in terms in a different currency. Many buyers and sellers are engaged in the foreign currency market, including students, commercial banks, brokers, and more. Foreign exchange reserves are important assets held by the central bank in foreign currencies are reserves. They are commonly used to support the exchange rate and set monetary policy. Most of the reserves are usually held in US dollars, given the currency's importance in the international financial trading system. International financial and trading system. India's foreign exchange reserves include foreign currency assets, gold reserves, special drawing rights, reserve position with International Monetary Fund. Foreign currency assets, gold reserves, special drawing rights SDR, reserve position with International Monetary Fund. Reserve position for International Monetary Fund. Balance of payments. It regards the transactions in goods and services and assets between residents of a country with the rest of the world for a specified time period, typically a year. There are two main accounts in the balance of payments: the current account and the capital account. The current account records exports and imports in goods and services and transfer payments. The capital account records all international purchases and sales of assets in such as money, stocks, bonds, etc. With exports exceed imports where there is a trade surplus and When imports exceed exports, there is a trade deficit. Trade in service is denoted as invisible trade because they are not seen in cross national borders, and it includes both factor income, net income from compensation of employees, and net investment income. The latter equals the net interest profits and dividends on our assets abroad minus the income foreigners earn on assets they own in India, and net non-factor income, shipping, banking, insurance, tourism, software services, etc. Transfer payments are receipts which the residents of a country receive for free without having to make any present or future payments in return. They consist of remittances, gifts, grants. They could be official or private. The balance of exports and imports is referred as the trade balance. Government e-marketplace. Government e-marketplace is a one-stop portal to facilitate online procurement of common use goods and services required by various government departments, organizations or PSUs. Government e-marketplace is a one-stop portal to facilitate online procurement of common use goods and services required by various government departments, organizations or PSUs. Government e-marketplace is a completely paperless, cashless and system-driven e-marketplace that enables procurement of common use goods and services with minimal human interface. It is a 100% government-owned company set up under the aegis of Ministry of Commerce and Industry for procurement of common use goods and services by government ministries, departments and CPSEs. It aims to enhance transparency and efficiency in public procurement. It provides tools for e-bidding, reverse e-auctioning and demand aggregation to the facilitate the government users achieve the best value of their money. Recently, that Commerce Ministry launched Swayat, an initiative to promote startups, women and youth through e-transactions on government e-marketplace. Swayat, SWAYATT, Swayat. మరి ఇంకొకసారి చూడాలి. Current and capital account convertibility. Current account convertibility. Current account convertibility allows free inflows and outflows of foreign currency for all purpose, including resident Indians buying foreign goods and services, Indians selling foreign goods and services, exports, Indians receiving and sending remittances, accessing foreign currency for travel, study abroad, medical tourism purpose, etc. On the other hand, capital account convertibility is widely regarded as the hallmark of developed countries. It is also seen as the major comfort factor for foreign investors, since it allows them to reconvert local currency bank into their own currency and move out from India. Following steps have been taken in the direction of capital account convertibility. Indian corporate is allowed fully convertibility in the automatic route up to $5 million overseas ventures investment by limited companies in foreign countries allowed. Indian corporate is allowed to prepay their external commercial borrowings via automatic route if the loan is above $500 million. Demand pull inflation. When the aggregate demand in an economy strongly outweighs the aggregate supply, prices go up. Economists describe demand pull inflation as a result of too many dollars chasing too few goods. Demand pull inflation. If a government reduces taxes, households are left with more disposable income in their pockets. This in turn leads to increased consumer spending, thus increasing aggregate demand and eventually causing demand pull inflation. Cost pull inflation is when prices go up. Initial public offering. An initial public offering refers to the process of offering shares of a private corporation to the public in a new stock issuance. Companies must meet requirements by exchanges under the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to hold an initial public offering. IPOs provide companies with opportunity to obtain capital by offering shares through the primary market. Companies hire investment banks to market gauge demand and set the IPO price and date and more. An IPO can be seen an exit strategy for the company founders and early investors, realizing the full profit from their private investment. When a company publicly sells new stocks and bonds for the first time, it does so in the primary capital market. FIIs could invest in the securities in the primary and secondary markets on a recognized stock exchange in India. Exchange in India. Initial public offering. Okay. Cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio refers to the fraction of the total net demand and time liabilities NDTL of a scheduled commercial bank held in India that it has to maintain as cash deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. The requirement applies uniformly to all banks in the country irrespective of an individual bank's financial situation or size. In contrast, certain countries, example China, stipulates separate reserve requirements for large and small banks. As per the RBI Act 1934, all scheduled commercial banks, that includes public and private sector banks, foreign banks, regional, rural banks and cooperative banks, are required to maintain a cash balance on average with the RBI on a fortnightly basis to cater the CRR requirement. Presently, banks are not paid any interest on behalf of the RBI for parking the required cash. If a bank fails to meet its required reserve requirements, the RBI is empowered to impose a penalty by charging a penal interest rate. Devaluation of currency. The term devaluation is used when the government reduces the value of a currency under fixed rate system. When the value of the currency falls under the floating rate system, it is called depreciation. Revaluation is a term which is used when there is rise in currency value in relation with a foreign currency in a fixed exchange rate. In the floating exchange rate regime, the correct term would be appreciation. Non-banking finance companies (NBFCs). Non-banking finance companies. A NBFC is a company registered under the Companies Act 1956, engaged in the business of loans and advances, acquisition of governmental or other marketable securities, leasing, hire purchase, insurance business and chit businesses. It does not include any institution whose principal business is that of agricultural activity, industrial activity, purchase or sale of any goods other than securities, or providing any services and sale or purchase or construction of immovable property. Difference from banks. NBFC cannot accept demand deposits, but some can accept time deposits, and such NBFCs are called deposit taking NBFCs. Non-banking finance companies. Non-bank finance companies cannot accept demand deposits, but some can accept time deposits, and such NBFCs are called deposit taking NBFCs. NBFCs do not form part of the payment and settle system and cannot issue checks drawn on itself. NBFCs get license under Companies Act 1956 and banks under Banking Regulation Act 1949. Types of NBFCs. NBFCs can be categorized under two broad heads. On the nature of their activity includes housing finance company, investment company, microfinance company or institutions, etc. On the basis of deposit accepting NBFCs and non-deposit accepting NBFCs. Indian Gas Exchange (IGX). Indian Gas Exchange is a digital trading platform that will allow buyers and sellers of natural gas to trade both in the spot market and in the forward market for imported natural gas. It will allow trade across three hubs, Dahej and Hazira in Gujarat and Kakinada in Andhra Pradesh. Imported liquefied natural gas will be regasified and sold to buyers through the exchange, removing the requirement for buyers and sellers to find each other. The price of domestically produced natural gas is decided by government. It will not be sold on the gas exchange. Liquefied natural gas traded on the platform is a natural gas that has been cooled into a liquid state at about minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit for shipping and storage. The volume of natural gas in its liquid state is about 600 times smaller than its volume in its gaseous state in a natural gas pipeline. National Institute for Plant Biotechnology. National Institute for Plant Biotechnology is a premier research institution of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research (ICAR). The institute was founded in 1985 as the Biotechnology Center of Agricultural Research Institute for Molecular Biology and Biotechnology Research in Crop Plants. The pre-science of the role of biotechnology in agriculture led to okay. It was for its center and is elevated as a national research center on plant biotechnology in the year 1993. Now NIPB. With a humble beginning and a few dedicated scientists, the center would successfully deliver varieties such as Pusa Jai Kisan, which is one of the top three mustard varieties released by the ICAR till date. Quarterly employment survey, a part of all India quarterly establishment based employment survey, was released by the Labour Bureau, Ministry of Labour and Employment. It provides the employment estimates for the establishments employing 10 or more workers in the organized segment in 9 sectors. The 9 sectors are manufacturing, construction, trade, transport, education, health, accommodation and restaurants, IT or BPO, financial service activities. With the quarterly employment survey provides a demand side picture. A national sample survey or periodic labor force survey gives the supply side picture of the labor market. Means of deficit financing in India. The means of deficit financing are given below in order of their suggested and tried preferences. External aids are the best money as means to fulfill a government's deficit requirements, even if it is coming with soft interest. If they are coming without interest, nothing could be better. External borrowings are the best way to manage fiscal deficit with the condition with that the external loans are comparatively cheaper and long term. Though external loans are considered erosion in the nation's sovereign decision making process, this has its own benefit and is considered better than the internal borrowings due to two reasons. External borrowing bring in foreign currency or hard currency which gives extra edge to the government spending, as by this the government may fulfill its developmental requirements inside the country as well as from outside the country. It is preferred over the internal borrowings due to crowd outing effect. Internal borrowings come as the third preferred route of fiscal deficit management, but going for it in a huge way hampers the investment prospects of the public and corporate sectors. It has the same impact on the expenditure pattern in the economy. Privatization. Denationalization is the transfer of the state ownership of the assets to the private sector to the time of 100%. It is privatization in its pursuit sense. If an asset has been sold out by the government to the tune of only 49% of the ownership remains with the state, though it is called though it is considered privatization. It is also called disinvestment through minority stake sale. If the sale of shares of the state owned assets has been to the tune of 51%, the ownership is really transferred to the private sector. Even even then it is termed as privatization. This is disinvestment through majority stake sale. Strategic disinvestment would imply the sale of substantial portion of the government share holding of a central public sector enterprise of up to 50% or such higher percentage as the competent authority may determine, along with transfer of management control. Niveshak Didi Initiative. Niveshak Didi Initiative. It is based on the ideology of women for women. As rural area women feel more comfortable to share their queries with a female herself. It is launched by the IPPB in collaboration with Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority IEPFA under the aegis Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is launched by IPPB in collaboration with Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority under the aegis of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The session covered topics ranging from banking and financial products, importance of joining the mainstream of financial services offered by regulated entities, and protection against various types of risks involved with investments, and measures of fraud prevention. India Post Payments Bank IPPB conducted India's first floating financial literacy camp with an initiative called Niveshak Didi to promote financial literacy by the women for the women in Srinagar and JNK. Shadow banking system. The term shadow bank was coined by Paul MC Kulle in 2007. A shadow banking system is the group of financial intermediaries facilitating the creation of credit. The shadow banking system also refers to unregulated activities by regulated institutions. Shadow banks are not subject to the same kinds of risk, liquidity, and capital restrictions as traditional banks are. The shadow banking system played a major role in the expansion of housing credit in the run up to the 2008 financial crisis. They performs like bank activities, mainly lending, not all activities. National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute. National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute. National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute (NABI) is the first agri-food biotechnology institute established in India in 18th February 2010. The institute aims at catalyzing the transforming of agri-food sector in India. The institute has the vision to be a nodal organization for knowledge generation and translational science, leading to value added products based on agri-food biotech innovations. The main research focus of NABI is to harness biotechnological tools in the area of agriculture biotechnology, food and nutritional biotechnology, so as to provide sustainable and novel solutions towards quality food and nutrition. It is an autonomous institute under Department of Biotechnology. Activities undertaken at NABI under different areas include agricultural biotechnology, food and nutritional biotechnology, human resource development, meeting and courses and technology transfer, outreach. Okay. National Stock Exchange. The National Stock Exchange was founded in 1992. It was recognized as a stock exchange by SEBI under the Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956, and the operation commenced in 1994. Vikram Limaye is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of National Stock Exchange of India Limited. It was the first exchange in India to provide fully computerized electronic trading. NSE is one of the pioneers in technology and innovation, which ensured the high-end performance of its systems. Its automated system makes it more reliable and efficient in comparison to the Bombay Stock Exchange. Bombay Stock Exchange was founded on July 9, 1875. It is Asia's first stock exchange. 1875. It is also the world's fastest exchange with a median trade speed of 6 microseconds. The Indian government recognized it officially as per the Securities Contracts Regulation Act in 1957. The BSE joined the United Nations Sustainable Stock Exchange Initiative in 2012. Approximately 5,000 companies are listed in BSE. World Gold Council. The Gold Council was formed in 1987 by some of the world's most forward-thinking mining companies. There are three core pillars to our mission in serving the gold market and its participants. Learn more about our work in each of the following areas: improving understanding, improving access, improving trust. World Gold Council members. The Gold Council's 32 members are some of the world's most forward-thinking gold mining companies. They are headquartered across the world and have mining operations in over 45 countries. Effects of inflation. Crowding out effect is an effect of public borrowing on private expenditure. Inflation is considered stand still at a year of past in the case of the constant price, while in the current price is the present day inflation is added. The year of the past is also known as the base year. The base year in India 2011 to 12 since January. So the difference between the two prices is only because of inflation. Basic economics: a higher inflation result in weakening of purchasing power. So the government and the central bank tightens the credit policy to decrease the money supply in the economy. This increases demand in the economy, which further lowers the investment. Crowding out effect is an effect of public borrowing and private expenditure. Nidhi company. A Nidhi company is a type of company in Indian non-banking finance sectors recognized under Section 406 Companies Act 2013. Their core business is borrowing and lending money between their members. They are also known as permanent fund, benefit funds, benefit funds, mutual benefits company. They are regulated by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which is empowered to issue directions to them in matters relating to their deposit acceptance activities. Nidhi means a company which has been incorporated with the object of developing the habit of thrift and reserve funds amongst its members, and also receiving deposits and lending to its members only for their mutual benefit. Nidhi companies existed even prior to the existence of Companies Act 2013. The basic concept of Nidhi is mutuality. Principle of mutuality. These companies are more popular in South India, and 80% of Nidhi companies are located in Tamil Nadu. Sabhanayagam committee is associated with Nidhi committee. Budgeting. The budget is a surplus budget when the estimated revenues of the year are greater than anticipated expenditures. The surplus budget shows the financial soundness of the government. When there is too much inflation, the government can adopt the policy of surplus budget as this will reduce aggregate demand. Zero based budgeting is a method of budgeting in which all expenses evaluated each time of budget is made, and expenses must be justified for each new period. AIIB, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, is a multilateral development bank with a mission to improve social and economic outcomes in Asia. It is established by the AIIB Articles of Agreement entered into force December 25th, 2015, which is a multilateral treaty. The parties, 57 founding members to agreement, comprise the membership of the bank. It is headquartered in Beijing and began its operations in January 2016. Lorenz curve. Okay, Phillips curve వచ్చేసి ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ అండ్ అన్ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్. మన లారెంజ్ కర్వ్ పరిస్థితి ఏంది? Lorenz curve is represented by a straight diagonal curve